Are we ready?
Yeah.
For fuck's sakes.
Hey, fuck you, man.
What's up, guys? On this episode of Inside the Pocket, we are, as always, going to be touching on some NFL and NHL news. We got an interview with the owners of Barrel's Taphouse, one of our sponsors. We have a couple new segments we're going to be introducing for you guys. So let's do it.
Welcome to Inside the Pocket. It's Austin, your host, and with me, as always, Gavin.
What's up, guys?
We are just going to go ahead and start off with talking about how our weeks went. And for me, I'll start it out and say I had a pretty decent week. Overall, the week wasn't bad. We had the 109 opening. We'll get into that later.
Yeah, the beer review for this episode at the end is actually going to be a throwback to an interview we did over the weekend for Barrel's grand reopening. So we have a beer review of their beer, which is the Barrel Strawberry Belgian Wheat, and we will touch more on that at the end of the episode.
Yep, so stay tuned and you'll hear for that. I have two things to add that happened during the week. One was the random volleyball thing we did the other night, which was awesome. And just as a hint to everyone, never play sand volleyball in jeans. That's a bad time.
Yeah, no, I had a great time doing it, but this morning when I woke up, I felt like a train wreck because I have not sportsed in quite a while.
You have not done the athleticism?
No, I mean, I worked out and did stuff like that, but just actually athletics and just lifting weights are two totally
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's
That's like
fucking nuts.
whenever not to put them down, but like when I did the football stuff with all the people that were like bodybuilders and stuff like that, like I was still able to keep up with them. When I saw them, I was like, oh god, these people are gonna make me look like an idiot. But yeah. I still, because it's different being
just purely athletic compared to in shape.
Yeah. So I could see where it would rain on two people like that. And also, we talked about this earlier today, and I had the worst Charlie horse that I have ever dealt with in my entire life.
I get them pretty bad too. Sometimes if like I'm working out steadily and I go to bed, I don't get enough protein or the right type of nutrients. I get them really bad.
I probably got it because we did volleyball. That's probably why I had it.
Yeah, because you slept all day and didn't even eat that much, and then you went and drank beer and played volleyball.
Yeah. So I woke. I don't even know what time it was. I woke up and I like rolled my leg and I just felt stabbing pain in my.
Oh fuck! Yeah. Oh fuck!
And I reached down to grab my calf, or what I thought was my calf, but I grabbed a hold of what felt like a softball.
So you had a tumor.
Yeah. So what I did, I felt it, and I literally was like, "Oh, that's not right," because I'd never had a Charlie horse like this. But I realized what it was because I pulled the blanket up and looked at it. And have you ever had it where you can see the muscle contorting back into place? So when I pulled it up and like was looking at my leg, I watched it morph back into its spot. Grossest shit I've ever seen.
So I'm like flat-footed, so I have to wear special like inserts on my shoes and stuff like that. I don't know.
Fascious plantar. Yeah. I think that's called.
I'm just very flat-footed. So I actually get Charlie horses on the very side of my foot where the muscles will get, I guess, pushed around or something. I don't know. But I will literally get them when you say you actually saw it. I'll get them on my foot sometimes where I literally see that shit pop up on the side of my foot. And I got to like rub it back into place.
Oh, it was so gross, man.
So I had a pretty good week all in all. Did have a bad thing happen on Wednesday on my way home. Sitting in traffic, bumper-to-bumper traffic. And I'm fucking just, listening to some podcasts, and some kid fucking slams right into the back of my Jeep.
Ooh.
So we had to pull over on the side of the road on Highway 64 in St. Louis during rush hour fucking traffic.
So you were those assholes.
Yeah, and so we got over, and I was off the road, so we weren't like stopping traffic, but we got over, and it was this like 17-year-old kid. He was losing his shit. First accident ever. I can't tell you if he was on his phone or fucking around or whatever, but I've had plenty of accidents. So when I got out, I was fucking pissed. Like I was really pissed off. And then this kid instantly,
as you should be, getting rear-ended.
And so he just was freaking the fuck out, thinking I was gonna kill him or blah blah blah. But I was like, bro, it's cool. Are you all right? Calm down. We'll get it taken care of. And so then, I told him, it doesn't even look that bad. And I go to open my back hatch, and I can't open the back of my fucking Jeep. So when you look at it, there's one tiny little dent, not even something that I would try to claim. It's a Jeep. I really don't give a fuck. But I need to be able to open the back of my fucking Jeep. So I got his insurance information, and all that. And he was like, man, if it's cheap enough, can I just pay it and keep it off the insurance? My parents will kill me. Which I did find out later that his parents own a company, and it was business insurance, which will be like if you as a business cause an accident, that's a way bigger deal than just a person having an accident, and because it goes against their business. And so we sit on the side of the highway for like 30 fucking minutes. Finally.
So wait, did you get his information in case you do have to pay for this whole thing?
No, I won't pay anything. I have all his insurance.
Okay.
And so I'm probably just going to put it on there. I really don't give a fuck. I'm tired of dealing with it already. So the kid's going to get fucked. Yeah. So I take a picture of my Jeep, his truck, get his insurance, and then we're waiting for a cop to come so I can get an accident report. And we sit there for like 30 fucking minutes. Then the police call me back, tell me to drive up to a gas station so they can meet me. Drive up there. There's no cop there. I try calling the police back. They don't answer I literally sat there with the phone ringing for 8 minutes. Nobody answered the phone. And then finally the kid's like, hey, a cop just pulled up. I'm like, what the fuck? So then the cop gets out, asked if anybody was hurt, checked our licenses and everything. It was like, yeah, we don't even really write accident reports anymore. Here's a little reference number if your insurance asks any questions. And I was like, the fuck?
Why did we just waste that time? Why didn't they just tell me that on the phone?
They could have just said, okay, you've reported it, here's this number.
Which is what I have had happen with anything. Like, I've been backed into multiple times. I was actually backed into this week.
Yeah, the day after me.
Yeah, the day after that happened. Nothing happened from it. That's why I forgot about it already. Dude just backed into me at a gas station. Whoop, big fucking whoop. I don't give a shit. But yeah, I have had it where when I called for getting backed into before, they literally just said, well, if insurance has any problems, you can call us.
Which is fucked up because my girlfriend works in insurance and she was like, that's fucking weird that they didn't do that. Like, they're supposed to do that. But also, we're in St. Louis.
There's probably more cop shit they gotta do.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They're probably dealing with, like, drug and murder and, like, actual criminal shit than some guy that just has a petty little fender bender.
Yeah.
So that was whatever. I did have an awesome time at the Barrels thing. It was a 2-night thing. We only made the first night, but that was a blast. Got to see lots of people. The bar was filled up. So if you are in the area, you listen to this, or you know some friends who are into the bar scene and might want to check it out, be sure and check this bar out because it is an awesome place. You know, we do ad reads for it and stuff like that. They're a proud sponsor. But really, I wouldn't talk up this bar if we didn't truly think it was an awesome bar. And it's definitely it's become my favorite bar to go to.
No, it's mine as well. I've been going there for quite a while, and I knew the old management, and then the new management come in, and I got to know them better, and I love being around them. They're some of the greatest people in the area. I would recommend it to anybody.
And then the other thing I had to talk about was after last weekend, watching E3 all week, and Battlefield 5 and Halo 6. So I'm pretty excited for those. I'm a pretty big fucking nerd. Used to play competitive Halo back in the day, and so it's definitely something I'm ready for. Games right now are just shit. Like, PUBG's a fun game, but that motherfucker should be done and perfect by now. They've made so much money. It just seems like gaming companies just don't give a fuck about anybody anymore. They're just money making machines, and they don't even put out that great of products.
Right. That's like anything that EA makes. I mean, EA will make a game and put it out, and it's not even finished being made. And they're like, all right, well, whatever. You still bought it.
You just got to pay all this money and then you can play the game.
Yeah.
And so that was actually a lot of people on Twitch were making jokes during the E3 thing, during EA's part, where they were just making like 99 cents per login to play the game.
Yeah.
And like, oh, you pay this, $50 and you get to fucking do this, or
you pay $50 so you could pay $40 later.
Yeah, exactly. And so, but there were actually a bunch of EA titles that came out, and they were proud to say that there would be no in-game beneficial items to purchase after the game came out, and all downloadable content would be free. The only thing that you had to spend money on was like skins and stuff that you might like, but anything, you could not like pay for an actual weapon or character or new maps. Everybody got everything. The only thing you could pay for.
We'll fucking see about that.
Yeah, exactly. We'll fucking see when it's actually fucking put out there.
That's if you buy the premium package, I bet.
Yeah,
then it's all free.
It'll probably be like, oh yeah, but you got to spend $150 and stuff. That's like Battlefield was $120 when I bought it to fucking get everything. It's like, god damn.
One thing we forgot to mention about 109, though, is we're also selling shirts there now.
Yeah, so if you want to go check out and support the podcast, we have our own shirts that are now for sale there. It has the Barrels logo on the back, so you'll also be kind of repping them too as a proud sponsor of ours. But if you support us, we want you to support them too. So go into Barrels and be sure and ask them about their Inside the Pocket t-shirts and pick you one up. We would greatly appreciate it, and if you do, we'll definitely shout you out and maybe enter you in for a free t-shirt, because we still definitely have some of our originals to give out. So if you kind of show us support, we'll hook you up.
Yeah, take a picture, put it on Instagram, tag us in that shit.
Yeah, we have our Instagram and our Twitter going, so just, hashtag or add us, and we'll be sure and shout you guys out and hit you up, and it'll be a good time. But now we will get into some NFL talk. So I'm going to start off the NFL segment with some Odell Beckham news. He has said that he will attend the training camps that he has left. Beckham claims he will not hold out if it turns out that he doesn't get the money that he's wanting, because he's made it quite obvious that he feels like he wants more money. But he said regardless, he's going to play, so he's not going to hold out. He also... he didn't participate in all the minicamp drills, even though he was medically cleared, but I think he's still just trying to take it slow and make sure he doesn't overdo it with the season coming up. He also did attend a chunk of the voluntary off-season workouts and OTAs, and I guess it was kind of just a sign of good faith.
Yeah.
Show the team, look, I'm not trying to just not do the work. I'm just...
Like I said, he did it because he's going into a contract year. That's what I was saying earlier. Like, I believe I said it in one of the prior podcasts, maybe episode 1 or 2, we talked about Odell Beckham, and he was going to the mini camps. Yeah. And I said, he's going because it's a contract year. He was hurt last year. He's proving his worth, that he's still going to be someone of this team going into a contract year, and he just missed an entire season.
So how big of a year do you think he needs to have this year to get the money that he wants? And do you think New York is going to pay him, or do you think they will take him after a big year like this and possibly trade him off for some real good draft picks or maybe some other assets that they could use?
New York will keep him if he has a big year, but his year has to be, I will give numbers and then I will give rankings. He has to have at least double-digit touchdowns and at least 1,000 receiving yards.
I mean, now, that's a big fucking year.
If those don't happen, he has to be at least top 5 in both positions.
So what if he has a year like Julio last year where he has 1,400 yards and only 3 touchdowns?
He made it up there in the yardage. Touchdowns, that's a little low. But that's not always your fault. If you're getting somebody else... It depends on... It's stipulated. Like Julio, I would consider that a pretty bad season for Julio, because you're used to him pulling in all those touchdowns.
Especially because I watched him drop in zone passes.
Yes, yeah. No, it does hurt your heart. But... what I'm saying is he needs to be in the top 5 area of the receivers in yardage and touchdowns for me to believe that New York goes, okay, we will pay you the money you want.
So he needs to finish top 5. Basically, he needs to be somewhere in the top 5 for both yardage and touchdowns.
Yes.
And then if you think, so if he doesn't get there and he's still wanting this money, do you think New York will trade him before basically by trade? So after this year, his contract's up, correct?
Correct.
So then he can go wherever he wants. Find a team that's willing to pay.
Well, they could hit him with the tag, the franchise tag.
They could. So basically this will be New York's options. They're either going to hit him with the tag, trade him before deadline. Maybe they could see how the season's going. If he does do good, then boom, hit him with the tag. And then if he's struggling by trade deadline
Week
or
6.
just having mediocre numbers, do you think they trade him and try to get something out of him?
I mean, they might.
Now, can they hit him with the tag and then trade him?
Yeah, they have full rights to get rid of you. Yeah, they can do that. But the only bad thing about
But then he'll have no contract going with him, correct? He's
correct.
Just got a
he
tag.
would have to get tagged by the other team. They would have to use their franchise tag on him.
What if they've already used it? Like,
then
can they not get him?
They can't get him.
Well, that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, he could only go to a team because that's how the contracts work. Like if you trade a player to another team, they don't rearrange their contract. You're trading your player for that player, and you're trading contracts.
But if you have the tag on him, you don't necessarily have a contract on him.
Exactly. That's why a team with a franchise tag is the only team that can pick him up, because that's what his contract is. It's a franchise tag. So you have to.
So they can't trade him, and the other team, like part of the trade stipulation is like, we will write up a contract.
If they did that, they probably would.
That's what I'm saying. The team say, you trade him to us, and we will sign him to a 1-year deal.
Yeah, you could probably do that.
And that's what I would. There's almost got to be a way around it for that, because most teams. I mean, I'm not saying they always use their franchise tag, but I guess there's plenty of years where teams don't have to use their franchise tag if they don't need it.
You actually see it more now than you used to.
If you see them making a trade, where do you think some of the big name places that are going to go for ODB?
I'd say this just out of favor of them, but Indy.
I do know that was like actually being talked about.
It was being talked about just because our receiving core is hurt.
A player like that go from your second favorite team.
Yeah, up to my first favorite team. That'd be kind of cool. I'd be for it. But also, I don't know if that's the kind of player or morale that Indy would want in their locker room. So I don't know if Indy is actually interested in getting him.
What if he went to LA?
I don't think he'd go there. But he'd probably fit in really good. I just don't think they have interest in him because of how stacked their offense already is.
Who are their stacked wide receivers?
On the LA Rams, they have Cooper Kupp, which was the...
You're calling Kupp a stacked guy?
After his rookie year, yeah, he did fantastic. He was the best rookie receiver of the season.
What did he do last year?
I think he had 11 touchdowns and 1,200 yards.
I'd have to look that up because I don't think he did shit last year.
Cooper Kupp, he did great.
Kupp?
I'm not certain.
But also, and they do have Brandon Cook now?
Yes, and they have... No, they got rid of Tavon Austin.
So last year, he had 5 touchdowns with less than 900 yards.
Cooper Kupp?
Yes. 2017, LA, right there.
Why was he such a big talk last year?
That's what I'm saying. I remember watching him, and he wasn't even that good. He's ranked like shit on Madden also. And I know Madden stuff changes. Basically, a player can play way better than they're rated on Madden before they make the adjustments. But this guy, I've watched him. It did say he got the Walter Payton Award, but I haven't seen anything super spectacular from him. So, I feel like that would be a place where you put a player like ODB on LA, and that's going to set them to like elite status, especially when you have a guy like Todd Gurley on the team.
Yeah. No, Todd Gurley would open it up for everything, but I'm trying to think why because they didn't have a bad passing game. I thought they had someone who really opened up their field.
Because Keenum did a pretty good job.
Yeah, I know, but right here it says that they've had 7 total passing touchdowns, which is wrong. Out of the 4 receivers it's giving me, the total touchdown number is 7 for last year. So that's incorrect.
Amongst all wide receivers?
Amongst the 4 it's showing right here, they're starting 4. They only had 7. That's
Where
wrong.
does it even show you that stat?
It shows him with 5.
Yeah.
Cooper Kupp, and then the other 2 both have 1.
And that all says the 17th season.
Yes. Oh, he has 5. So, 11.
Maybe that's right.
I don't think so.
Todd Gurley had multiple games where he scored 2, 3, 4 fucking touchdowns.
Yeah.
Todd Gurley fucking ran shit for them.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure they had a better passing game than that.
I'll do
a little more research and I'll come back.
I think they had a decent passing game where they got into good positions, but I think Gurley was their fucking workhorse.
Oh no, he's the workhorse. Of course, I'm not saying he's not their workhorse, but there's no way their passing game was that bad because they.
But you put ODB on it, it's gonna be pretty fucking good.
Yeah, I just don't think he'd go there.
So you think Indy's the best fit for him?
No, I don't.
What
I don't
would be the best fit?
The best fit for Odell is New York. I believe that's where he should be.
Really?
Yeah. If he doesn't stay at the New York Giants, he should go to the Jets. I just think that's the best area for him.
I'm not talking about just like where like he should be personally. You think one of those teams is the team that's, if he wants to win a championship, that's the team he goes to?
No, but I think a team he's on could then become a competitor for it. And if you wanted to just join a team, go to New England. If you just want to go win a Super Bowl, everybody.
But I'm talking about a team that'll pay him the money and he could go to.
Yeah, the Jets.
From what it sounds like, LA still has some money they could spend. Because it was a lot of talk when that talk was going out that LA would find the money to get him if New York wanted to trade.
That'd be interesting. I'd like to see him there. It'd be neat.
Yeah, I think it would too. Kind of sucks that our team that left and did shitty for all those years just moves and becomes a super squad, but whatever.
Yeah.
But speaking of the Colts, we actually have some positive news for Andrew Luck.
We do. Andrew Luck, he's throwing balls.
Throwing some balls.
They're not NFL sized balls yet. They're high school weighted balls.
Okay.
But other than that, if you look at him, like how he's standing, he's like built like a monster right now. Because
No,
for
I've heard
2 years,
all
all
he's
he's
done
been
is
doing
lift.
is all he's been doing is rehabbing, working out, and getting stretches in. And he's just now starting to throw a football. It's scary because he hasn't played football in 2 years, but he also is in like the best shape he's been in for a while. I believe he said 2 days ago on ESPN, I was watching, he said that last year he had pain in his shoulder just moving his arm around, and that pain is 100% gone now. They're
dope.
just taking steps still because he doesn't want to tweak it or do anything before the season starts. However, he said he will be participating in all the training camps.
Awesome. I was actually reading up on some of that too. The players are saying that Andrew's looking energetic and he's feeling confident, and it's actually really raising the morale of the team around him. Even their new tight end, Eric Ebron, is that how you pronounce his name?
Ebron.
Yeah, he was saying that he's very happy with how Luck has been with the rest of the team. And I've been meaning to say that too. With the addition of Ebron and a new head coach and that guard that they picked up,
Yeah.
that seems like quite a few improvements to the offensive line.
Yes.
And if Andrew comes back and you have this new, fresh coach in there, I mean, they could be. I feel like, even though that there's been some struggles with the Colts lately, you look at a team like the Browns, it seems like the Colts actually have a locker room right now that is like ready to go.
What's scary is that it's all new people. You're going to have 3 new starters on the offensive line who don't know the playbook, behind a quarterback who just came off injury. You're having a brand new head coach and new management. They have a new GM as well. So literally everyth's new. They're a completely new team.
Yeah.
So that's
sometimes a mix-up like that works. I mean, look at rookie Wentz coming to Philly, and look how well they did even before he got hurt, and then Big Dick Nick took him all the way home.
Yeah.
But so are you? I've wanted to ask you about this because we haven't talked about it a lot with Frank Reich. Are you like him a lot? How do you think with him as the new head coach?
I'm for it because his team just won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And he seems to be an offensive guy. And he also seems like a player's coach. He doesn't seem like a, like stuck up, we're going to do as I say. He seems more like I want to hear what my team's wanting.
No, and I thought it was cool too when Pat McAfee actually went to that press conference and asked him about it, and he gave the answer. He goes, "I've made a very successful career in being the number 2 guy."
Yeah.
And then he was wanting to cut it up with Pat, and he seems like one of those guys that he wants to get to know his players and get on that personal level with them to find out, one player might be motivated by that hardcore fucking who's the Raiders coach right now? Gruden type of just grit guy. But then you have those people like Pat that if he has a coach that's like, okay, cuzzy, we're going to go out, we're going to have a good time, and we're going to keep it moving. That's the kind of thing you do, and Pat's going to be like, okay, let's go.
And that's why I like him. He's a subtle coach. He seems like he's going to be serious when business time comes, but you can tell that he's definitely a calmer coach.
Yeah, okay, guys, you're sucking dick right now. What the fuck?
Yeah, let's get our asses
But then if
together.
you guys are doing good, he can just be like, all right, guys, we got a fucking 3-touchdown lead. Let's keep it on track, but we're doing pretty good. We're in a good spot.
Let's do some fucking hold my dicks real quick. Let's just throw them up there.
But Luck also has been quoted as saying he will absolutely, in fact, start game 1. False hopes?
I do have false hopes. Also, just to go ahead and add on what we were talking about, because I just found it out. Todd Gurley also led in receiving touchdowns.
Yeah, so there you go.
Yes, that's where it came from.
So,
and in the next
I knew Todd Gurley did everything for that team. Basically.
Next was actually Sammy Watkins, who they got rid of.
Yes.
That was the other receiver.
So you couldn't even count his because he wasn't on that list.
They weren't on that list.
So, yeah, you had that. But, no, I knew Gurley pretty much just...
he did everything.
That's what I mean. If you had a guy like that and you throw ODB on the side...
God, it's just so weird.
Defenses will just be like, what the fuck?
I mean, granted, I watch every game, but, I'm watching 12 games at a time, so maybe I just overlooked... I just saw the Rams winning. I'm like, well, some of those got to be passing touchdowns. And I know
and they
Cooper
were.
Kupp, at the end, was doing good. That's when I was watching him. He had, 3, right near the playoffs, he was doing
Probably
real good.
because they had to send half the defense to wherever the fuck Todd Gurley was going.
Yeah, that's probably why.
But the last thing I wanted to touch on, not a lot of news for on the field for a team, but the Philly scumbags that you all saw emerge after this big Super Bowl win.
Yeah.
Well, the organization themselves did something. Part of it is a scumbag move, but part of it is a redemption move. So I was reading this article, and I'm kind of summing it all up. I read this on ESPN, and this lady, Carol Cullen, who was an assistant, like an executive assistant, started back in 1985.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah, and worked for them for all these years. She worked through 7 different head coaches over 3 decades.
She started during the best defense of all time.
Yeah, and then so she worked for all these people. After Chip Kelly's first year, he fired her and basically told her your job's no longer needed. She would type up the game plans for him. They would submit the game plans and she would type them up. I'm sure she had lots of other stuff, but that was one of the main things she did. So after she's fired, she was like at a loss. You know, she said that it took her a long time to find life outside of football because she loved it. And that's when you do something for 35 years, you kind of get used to it. But she stayed loyal to the team and was a huge fan. And one of the things she would always try to sneak into the game plan was the flea flicker. She just really liked that play. And so she would always be like, hey, can I put this in the game plan? And the coaches almost always would let her put it in, even if they weren't going to call it. They let her just put it in there.
Yeah.
And so apparently, fast forward to the night of the Super Bowl, she texted one of either the coach. Yeah, she texted Coach Peterson and wished him luck. And she said, I only got one thing to say to you. Flea flicker. And so he actually told her, he was like, yo, it's in the game plan tonight in the Minnesota NFC title game. And that night, Nick Foles hit Torrey Smith with the 41-yard touchdown in the third quarter off a flea flicker. And after it happened, apparently one of the executives that also knew her, that knew that she was into it, texted her and said, that one was for you, Carol. And so I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
these people are reaching out to her after all these years. Well, sometime after that, she got some email and she thought it was an error and even like emailed them back and was like, I haven't worked for this organization for quite a while now. And they said, no, this is no mistake. We need you to come to the Eagles facility so you can get fitted for a Super Bowl ring.
No shit.
So, and she even like texted it to her daughter and she posted it on Twitter and she goes, basically broke it down and was like, so my mom works for an organization for 30 years, gets fired. Philly wins the Super Bowl. They call her up and give her a ring. She was one of only 3 people outside of the team and organization that got honored with rings. Apparently, there was a couple other people that were just really well known in the organization that they gave rings to. Right. But she was just an inside exec. So I was like, that's pretty fucking cool.
That's really cool. Do you think they're going to give her a job back? Did it say anything about that?
It didn't say anything about that, and I guess basically when Chip Kelly did fire her, everything's on computers now, and they have the tablet out there, so they don't need her to type it up and print it because they have tablets out there, so that's basically, computers basically replaced her job, technology, and, you know, it probably was they didn't need her anymore, so they had to let her go, but it just sucks that, like, not long after she's dedicated over a lifetime to an organization, they fucking do what people thought they may never do. But it is cool that, you know, just some, you know, you go to a sporting event and you see all these people and you know the players and you know the coaches and the trainers and there's announcers and all this, even like custodial people, and you don't think of how many people actually go into an organization.
Oh, yeah.
It's like fucking nuts, like front office people and the small jobs that are involved in it. And it's like, you know, just this lady that probably nobody's ever heard of, but the organization remembered. And so I was like, you know what? Out of all this fucking scumbag stories you hear, that's a pretty good one. So good for Philly. Philly, you did good on that one. So I'm proud of you guys. I didn't look too much in NHL this week.
I still had one more football thing.
Oh, you got one more football thing?
Yeah, I have one more football thing.
All right,
and it's a thing that Tom Brady was on the Oprah Winfrey Show.
Really?
Yes, he was. And Oprah was trying to find out what year Tom Brady was going to retire. Brady would not give a year, and his response was, I will stop playing when I stop loving the game. So, he's 43, 42. One of those. He's in his 40s. So, my guess is, do you give him till 50?
If he stays healthy, aside from a serious injury, I mean, let me ask you this. He said he'll play the game as long as he loves the game. Can you see him doing a Brett Favre or Peyton Manning and going to another team for the last couple of years of his career?
I don't know. Like
I mean,
I just don't know
with
what
the
he would
QB
do.
crisis that seems to be going on, with people just drafting QBs and throwing them into positions and all this shit, yada yada yada, and mix people around. You got the Baltimore Ravens talking about putting two quarterbacks on the field at the same time.
Yeah.
Have you heard that?
Yeah, I
Wild
heard that.
and
About
interesting. I will be excited.
Lamar Jackson over at wide receiver. They could do like
Yeah, or they're even talking about putting. Basically lining them both up in the backfield and not having a running back, and then one of them split off for like a receiving role.
No shit.
And so literally they would both play at the quarter where you don't know which one's going to get the hike.
That would be a weird situation. They could even line up like in like a standard like I formation and like be like this.
Basically omit a fullback and just have two quarterbacks
Yeah.
and then a running back.
Yeah,
And
that's
so
what I'm saying.
those would be some wild match. And you don't know, like the blitz, you could have them pretty far apart. I mean,
Yeah.
I imagine as long as you're on the right hash, you can move as far to one side as you want, correct?
I believe so.
And so you could have two guys lined up where the blitz is like, which fucking guy's going to get this ball? And in the time that it takes for them to
They might rewrite offense.
This could be a revolutionary year for football.
Yeah, they might do horrible, but it'd be an interesting way to. It'd be a curious way to play football.
The past couple years, we've seen the double running backs. This could be the start of the double quarterback generation.
That would be so weird, having two quarterbacks on the field at all times. That'd be so weird. I hope they do it, actually. I'd love to see him do it.
Crazy. I thought that was an interesting story, too. But back on topic also, you know,
Brady.
Do you think Tom Brady would go to another team, or you think basically as long as he wants to play, he's going to play in New England, and New England probably will give him as much money as he wants because he's done so much for them?
You would think an organization would do that, but if you remember who Tom Brady replaced...
Oh, no. I mean, if somebody comes along and they're like, yo, we could... Yeah, we're going to win a Super Bowl again, and this guy's going to do it first, not you, motherfucker.
Yeah,
and that's who we're going with.
Yeah, and that's what happened for Brady to get started.
Yeah.
That's what happened. So, you would think an organization wouldn't do that, but he's literally the one who did it to someone. So, you can see it happen.
But not many people are going to come around and replace people the way he did.
Right.
I mean, not a lot of people are just going to come fucking hook you up with 5 or 6 Super Bowls.
No.
But
I just don't know where is the cap on him age wise for playing. Say he stays in New England and he plays until he stops loving football. And do you ever really stop loving football, or is he just going to play till he's fucking dead?
Possibly he could just put it all out there. I mean, as long as he's sucking the soul out of his young children by making out with them, he may fucking play forever.
Yeah, he could.
That fucking what's the name of his little workout regimen? TB12. That could be some weird fucking like voodoo shit that's just gonna keep him young forever.
He's like summoning demons.
I mean, all I can say is he may only have a few years left. I mean, if we're big Supernatural fans. You look at the little deals they make, and it was like, yo, I want this. And now that he's lost one, he's like, yo, what the fuck? And they're like, bro, your time's up, cuz. And so he's like, well, fuck it, I'll just play as long as I love the game, because I know actually a demon's gonna come take my soul in the next couple of years.
He's thrown in spy cameras, deflated balls. Adam Vinatieri kicked footballs into a ring circle to summon a demon that will help him win Super Bowls.
Most definitely could have happened. But nope, very interesting. I would say 50 would be a good cap to give a guy like Brady, but
That's
you never
so
fucking know.
old.
It is wild, but I mean, fuck, how old's Vinatieri now?
53.
I mean, he said he was going to play till he's 70.
He said he could play till he was 70. He didn't say he would play.
But he's saying he possesses the ability to. Definitely interesting. How old was Jerry Rice when he finally retired?
He played for 21 seasons. So if he came in at 22, he left at 44.
Okay, so he's not nearly even as old. So,
but they always say that was an incredible career.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, that's a nuts career regardless. So I'd be interested to see how long it goes. But now that I believe we are finished up with our NFL information, then we are just going to go ahead and jump right into some NHL news. I didn't personally do too much this week, but I know you definitely got some stories, so let's fucking hear it.
I only have 2 stories, and one of them is more of just a conversation piece between me and you, because I know you heard that the Blues have so much money that they're looking to spend.
Yeah, they've been approved to spend some money this year.
And did you see that Tavares is getting re-signed?
He is. That's official.
They said that they're in the works right now of getting him re-signed. Before they said that they weren't even interested.
Yeah, I heard they weren't even interested, and the Blues were that's who they were going to go after hot and heavy. But I have heard that they are basically working on a possibility of re-signing right now.
Okay.
It wasn't like he's resigning.
So one thing that I've heard in a rumor mill about the Blues is that they're debating getting rid of Tarasenko.
Okay.
If they got rid of Tarasenko, what player would you almost demand to see on our team?
Fuck, I don't know. They're gonna have to get somebody. I mean, he was our big goal scorer that year, and that's why I wanted to see Travera so bad because he actually had 37 goals last year.
I don't think they
Tarasenko only
should
had
get rid of him.
No, I don't think they should get rid of him at all. I think that would be a dumb move. He's not the issue.
Right.
You need him. You need to build some people that can also score like him.
If you could pick, not even of people that are free agents or anything like that, any player in the NHL, who would you like to see alongside Tarasenko on the Blues?
Let me hear what you got to say. I want to hear your opinion on this.
I would actually like to see Oshie back.
Oshie would be a cool.
I loved Oshie when he was here. I know he got a little dry for us for a little while, but he's still a fantastic player.
He's a beast right now.
Dude, he's a good player,
yeah.
and I like him. And I would just love to see him, come back to the Blues now after getting a ring, or a cup. I'm so used to saying ring.
Yeah.
But getting the cup, it'd be, to me, sweet to have Oshie back. And if not getting Oshie...
I wouldn't mind seeing Thornton. I mean, they talked about him coming, and while he wasn't the goal scorer that Tavares is, dude had 123 points.
Yeah, I was going to say, he was huge on points. He was a playmaker.
Had like 80 assists.
Yeah.
I mean, holy fuck. But when you have people that can score around you, that's pretty easy. And what the Blues need right now are other people that can put that fucking thing in put the fucking puck in the net.
Yeah, put the biscuit in
the
bread
basket. Put that
basket.
bitch in the basket. And because actually Shen led us in points, so he's doing pretty good between the two. Schwartz is a real good playmaker, but we have the playmakers. We need the people that can just be like, all right, I need to fucking score.
Yeah.
And go down there and fucking score.
Yeah.
And you are limited on people to do that. Or you could get somebody that, it's funny, you also talk somebody from the Capitals. We have Thorburn right now, who's a fucking scrub in my opinion. He's not even that. Get somebody like Wilson on the team, maybe. Guy that
you would like to see Wilson on the Blues.
I wouldn't mind. One of those people I don't like to play against, but wouldn't be bad if you put a Blues jersey on.
Okay. I see your biasness.
A pretty big, intimidating guy that can definitely go out and score. I mean, he's not a Ryan Reeves. He even said, he was like, yeah, I was pretty much trying to avoid Ryan Reeves the whole time. Nobody wants to fucking fight with that motherfucker. But he'll fight a lot of other people, and he'll fucking kill people on the ice, and he can score a lot better than fucking Ryan Reeves can. I'll tell you that right now.
Someone who's a goal scorer that we could put up there, I don't think we'd ever get him from the Toronto Maple Leafs, is Austin Matthews.
Yeah.
And he's real young. I think that he's only 3 seasons in, and he's a talented shooter. Like, that's all he does. He's a scorer. And I'd like to see somebody like that with Tarasenko, because like you said, we have people who make plays, and the Blues do it a lot where they'll pass right in front of the net, and nobody hits it in, and it just skates all the way across because no one's aggressive enough to actually get the puck in the net.
Yeah, and that's one thing that the Blues definitely need. I mean, they've always kind of been one of those muscly teams that they're not afraid to get out there and hit and stuff too. But like right now, without Ryan Reeves, I feel like we don't have that. Having a guy that people are generally fucking afraid of helps.
Yeah.
And after last year, we just barely missed the fucking playoffs, which I'm kind of glad we missed, because then we would have made it into the playoffs, still not won, and fallen even further back in the draft.
Yeah.
But I almost wouldn't mind seeing the Blues have a shit year, and let's get a good young guy in here that we think can do some things. But the way hockey works too is through like the minor leagues and stuff like that. You don't rely on the draft like you do in football. I mean, so many other leagues, you get guys from so many other places than how football does.
Theirs are like different leagues per country. Like they have different. There's like 12 different NHL or lower leagues, minor leagues for the NHL. There's like a bunch of them.
Yeah, and so there's definitely. I would like to see kind of that bruiser goal scorer guy that you have in Wilson, but definitely I feel like right now the Blues need some more goal scorers.
Agreed.
One guy I really like, because they talk about they want some more depth at center, especially after seeing how he did with the Vegas' first night. I'm a big fan of Marchessault, so I wouldn't mind seeing a guy like him coming over. A lot of those guys had pretty short contracts when they started this, so it'll be interesting to see how some of these contracts go. I wouldn't mind the Blues picking up a guy like that.
That's another thing to go on my bold prediction about Vegas, saying that they're not going to make the playoffs next year.
I think a lot of players are going to go back to other teams.
I believe they have 4 players that were on within their top 2 lines that were all 1-year contracts. So there's a possibility that they're going to lose 4 people immediately, since they went away and then their first year all go to the Cup.
They all do really good.
So they're probably going to get picked up by some maybe franchises that have a little bit more money to spend.
Do you think the Caps are going to keep their team together after this year?
Yeah, but I don't think they're going to give a shit.
You think this year is just going to be a bunch of guys that don't give a shit?
I don't know if they'll not give a shit, but the pressure's off. They might become even better now since the pressure's off. They did it. They finally did it. They're no longer the team that can't do it. They have done it. Now maybe that pressure's gone. Maybe they just excel. Because now they're playing for fun instead of for we got to win a cup.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to tell me anybody, we could always get McDavid. I mean, from Edmonton, that would be pretty.
That we could also throw Crosby on the ice. But I was trying to be a little realistic.
A little realistic. So, I mean, there's a lot of people, but when you look at people that are going to be that good to really stand out, you're going to see a lot of teams that aren't willing to part ways. But, I mean, if you have people, I don't know what a lot of these guys' contracts looks at, but, like, you get somebody like another fucking, you get Stamkos on there with Tarasenko would be fucking crazy. Or you get anybody like Kuznetsov, but you don't know if, what Washington's going to do after this. I mean, Tavares, based on the way that people were talking, the availability of some of these big names, I would fucking love it if Tavares could come here. But like I said, somebody that might be more realistic, I think Marchessault would be a pretty good addition for the Blues. I think he'd fit in quite well.
No, that's not a horrible decision.
Did you say you had something else
as
far as the NHL front?
Just kind of, I thought it was funny. Ovechkin with the cup. We all seen the bender.
Dude, that was... Actually, the one thing I was going to put on here was ESPN did a top 5 for Ovechkin's bender.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was like
funny.
The top 5 moments from Ovechkin's post Stanley Cup victory celebrations. And they had, the...
In the fountain, probably.
Yeah, people say, we don't fucking suck. Yeah. We're the Stanley Cup champions.
Yeah. I told we don't fucking suck.
We don't fuck suck.
Yeah, we don't fuck suck.
And there was that, the Water Angels, him in the little pool, the one pic of him sleeping, like spooning the cup.
Yeah.
And then you had the beer stand with it and stuff like that, where they basically did the keg stand.
What he said was, if any fans want to come out and to touch history, is what he said.
Yeah.
If you see him with the cup out in public, come up and grab that cup. That's what he wants. He wants the fans to be a part of it.
And I know that the Stanley Cup is one of those sacred things.
Yeah.
Like, especially once the season, nobody's allowed to touch that cup till somebody wins it and yada, yada, yada. But it is cool that the fans of a team that never won it, that have been waiting so long, I only hope that when the Blues finally win it, they do something like that where it's like, yo, show up, you're going to get some of this.
Oh, yeah. I'd be there.
St. Louis is going to be wild.
I'd be taking a week off work to just follow it around.
Yeah, I'd be like, I'm literally, like, I would literally reach out to one and be like, you need to tell me everywhere you guys are going to be at. I will buy plane tickets. I will do whatever I
We'll come with you to Vegas.
We're following you around and documenting this. I'll record shit the whole time and I'll make content for you guys, whatever I got to do. I'm following you motherfuckers around this whole time.
Let's have a good
as well as I can while being shit-faced.
Yeah, what we need to do is we need to try and get an in with the Who Did It Now Enterprise just bought the stadium. We need to get it in with Enterprise so Enterprise can put us in.
Well, we do the work at their stadium.
I know that, but we got to find a way for the podcast to get in on it too. We'll get in there.
We'll find.
They'll get it.
So that was cool. Still, big shout out to the Washington Capitals as fans of a team who are kind of in the position that you were up until this year. Fuck you guys, but congratulations. We're now just waiting for ours. So now that we've pretty much wrapped up the NHL side of things, we are now going to jump into our wow stories of the week.
Wow. 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 Wow.
All right, Austin, why don't you start us off again? What is your wow story of the week?
Well, my wow story of the week actually is kind of heartfelt, and I thought it was extremely adorable. A Wyoming family is reunited with their dog Ginger. It was a red heeler dog. They went on a family trip to Saxon Falls, San Diego. And they brought their dog with them. They didn't want to leave the dog home. They brought the dog with them. The dog ran away from the house that they had rented on their trip.
Okay.
They could not find the dog. they then put out missing flyers, but they're also on a trip. They're not going to be there super long.
Yeah.
And their dog ran away. So their trip ended and they had to leave. So they presumed the dog had probably been hit by a car or something like that. Well, little did they know their little dog was Bear Grylls, because that motherfucker lived behind a fast food restaurant car wash mix for 3 years, eating out of the trash can and drinking out of the water from the car wash that would drain out from cars getting their car wash.
Okay.
So this dog was so powerful. Like, mentally.
Yeah.
He stayed in one area. He had grit. He lived in the woods. He scavenged a healer. Just a little dog. I mean, not little. They're like 30 pounds. He did his thing for 3 years alone. Then somebody noticed him. And they saw he had matted hair. He had ticks. He was kind of fucked up. They're like, let's take this dog in. Well, they noticed he was still wearing a collar. And then the names were on it. So they were able to call the family. But this happened 3 years ago. So the family now get a call like, hey, were you guys in San Diego 3 years ago? And they're like,
well, how would they even know how long ago it was when they called them?
Well, they probably asked, have you been to San Diego?
So,
and they were
hey,
like, yeah, it was
dog.
like 3 years ago. And they're like, oh, well, we think we have your dog. And they were like, what? So that's probably where, after seeing him.
I'm finding all kinds of holes in the story already.
Where's the holes?
I like your story, but... So they apparently know everything that this dog's done for 3 years? What took somebody so long to fucking go look at his collar?
The people at the food place had noticed the dog, but they just thought it was a local trash dog. So they didn't, pay attention to it.
So nobody felt like going to help this dog?
Yeah, they just thought it was a dog that was around there.
They're like,
finally, somebody from, an animal rescue place saw it and took it.
After a couple weeks, they'd be like, this dog keeps eating out of our fucking trash.
Yeah, it's San Diego. They don't give a fuck about dogs.
San Diego's like a really nice place.
Yeah, I know, but...
Don't all the gay people live out there?
No, that's San Francisco.
Oh, damn. I was going to say, gay people would probably be like, oh, little puppy.
Yeah, no. Well, when it's covered in matted hair and probably...
They'd say, poor little puppy.
No, I think they go, that thing's fucking gross, and then walk away.
That dog isn't fabulous.
Exactly.
Fuck that dog.
So they don't... Yeah, fuck that dog. Anywho, they cleaned the dog up. They called this family. The family drove the 8 hours to get there. Skeptical. When they got there, they're like, there's no way this is our dog. There's
dog.
No fucking way. But after they had cleaned the dog up and got it all... They were like, holy shit, it's our dog.
Here's my other theory. They named the dog Ginger. It has no soul. That's how it's surviving. It's got no soul.
Oh, you just think it couldn't die?
Just can't, yeah.
Not a bad... It's a red healer, and it has red fur.
Soulless ginger dog.
Soulless ginger dog. Surviving out of trash and soapy water.
Heaven nor hell want it. So it's just doing what it's got to do to get back to its family. Because it's like, yeah, I'm kind of getting tired of drinking soapy water and fucking trash.
Yeah. But no, I thought that was just...
It was just funny because the way the story comes off, it was like they sat down and talked to the dog. He's like, bro, I've been fucking drinking out of a car wash and eating fucking behind McDonald's trash can. And it fucking took you guys 3 years to ask me where the fuck I'm supposed to be.
Right. No, I can see where those holes would be. But from where I read, it literally said they had a couple accounts of people seeing the dog, and it was eating out of trash, or it was spotted at that car wash.
Gotcha.
Over the course of 3 years. So that's where they assumed he was at most of the time.
And then maybe he was scared. Maybe anytime somebody tried to get to him, he just ran off. And then finally somebody reported it. And they, probably starting to get a little worn out from eating trash and fucking shitty water. So probably got weak enough. But fucking 3 years is a long time.
That's where I'm saying it's a wild story. I don't care that they reunited.
Yeah.
What I care about is not a dog.
Like a domesticated dog found a way to survive for 3 years.
Yeah, for 3 years on its own. That's what's wild to me.
Yeah, that is pretty wild. I mean, that's good on dog. They talk about a lot of times too, like cats are natural hunters, but they're like, after you domesticate it, can't be on its own.
Right.
I mean, they still have instincts. They're not just gonna lay down and die.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm domesticated as fuck. You throw me in the middle of the jungle, I'm gonna try to figure it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna start cutting some trees down, doing some weird caveman shit.
So, is that it for your story?
Yeah, that's it for mine.
Okay. Next time, you can kind of lead me in or something, so I know we don't.
Well, I mean, we were doing the things, but I'll go ahead and just be like, hey, Gavin, what was your wild story of the week?
Oh, thanks for asking.
You're welcome.
Mine is actually kind of not so much a heartfelt, but more about a fat piece of shit.
Okay.
This woman in Ontario, Canada, called the fucking cops because her pizza took too long. Now, I was bitching about. I was calling the police because the police were taking too long. I was a little upset. I had an emergency.
Right.
And this lady's calling people over fucking pizza. But my question is like Canada just so chill and like kind that like not enough crime happens there to where like hey, why don't you hurry with my pizza there, eh? Ma'am, it's
You think she'd just say
just
sorry?
Hold your horses. Sorry about that. And then she's like, I'm gonna have to call the Smokies because I've been here for a bit too long.
The Mounties are gonna be on you.
And so, so maybe that's just a crime there. But the lady was 32, and this also makes me feel bad. People talk shit on the millennials on how we're fucking entitled and lazy and blah blah blah. This lady's 32, so she's really not that much older than me. I guess maybe even she might be considered a millennial, which is hard to believe. But it's pushing it. But like, what about her fucking parents that never taught this bitch who's now 32 years old that you don't call the police because you're fucking hangry and you haven't gotten your fucking Domino's pizza yet.
Sometimes food takes a minute.
Yeah, you want it cooked, don't you, bitch? Like,
I hope from now on, when she places an order anywhere,
she just gets
her
dough and tomatoes.
Yeah,
like they literally just wrap a tomato in dough, beat the shit out of it, and throw it in her fat fucking face.
There you go.
And then apparently, when the cops got there, they literally had to sit her down like a fucking child and teach her how to use 911. And they were like, if you hurt yourself or somebody rapes you, give us a call, but leave the pizza guy alone.
Yeah, pizza guy does no wrong.
Yeah, and so, this where I kind of brought up the little debate between, what the fuck were her parents thinking the whole time? Like, do you think her parents years ago called the police and were like, our fucking burgers were overcooked and blah, blah, blah? Like, do you think she has a family history of parents just being fucking shitty people?
No, I bet that her parents just aren't even around. I bet you that she didn't have parents. She didn't have people to show her the way. And she's probably just cunty. Does it say whether she's, like, single or anything?
No, it actually said she had her daughter with her.
Oh, she had a daughter.
So now this little girl's going to grow up being a total piece of shit. Like, my ice cream wasn't as cold when the ice cream man took too long to get to my house. Can you call him and arrest him?
It melted on my hands, and now my hands are sticky, and I want to press charges.
And sorry to bother you, but I'm so distressed.
Fucking Canada.
Like, all right, Canada, shut the fuck up.
Their whole country is just an amusement park.
Yeah, they're pretty nice people, but that's what I mean. Is Canada, like, so nice that they're soft, and this is the kind of shit that they don't, like, Canada's so nice and stuff. Nobody's up there killing each other.
Canada's not real. Like,
yeah. Like, nobody's up there killing each other, or, like, they don't have, like, violent crime because it's Canada, and anytime somebody does anything, they're just like, ooh, sorry, partner. And then, so, like, this is actually like I asked politely to get my pizza, and they told me to hold on and didn't say sorry.
And she called the police. She's not Canadian. Like, she called the police. Like, that's...
Oh, so she could be, like from America and moved to Canada and was, like,
and
showing them
she's fucking up Canada.
Yeah.
So, like, or they should kick her out, like, for being un-Canadian.
That should be kind of like how they were talking about... it's one thing if a kid calls 911 over some bullshit because they don't know. But, like, if you're fucking over the age of...
14.
Yeah, well, you're not an adult till 18, but if you're a legal adult and you call the police for some fucked up bullshit that you shouldn't have called, you should get a fucking day in jail.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that.
Be like, okay, you wasted our time, come with us. Yep. We're taking you, now we're going to waste your time for the rest of the fucking day. Don't ever call us over this stupid bullshit again. Agreed. And then, that's that.
So. Yeah, no, that's ridiculous to call over late pizza. I guess she's never heard the term "don't cry over spilt milk" because that's literally what she was doing.
Don't call the police over late pizza.
That's the new
term. So I'm going to start using it all the time. And if people don't get it, I'm going to smack it with my dick and tell them to listen to my podcast.
Perfect.
So we have some new segments that we're super stoked to introduce to you guys. One of them's going to be Midwest stories by Midwest normies. And then the other one is going to be Tinder Talks, where we go over some crazy Tinder conversations that girls happen to get. So if you know a female that gets some interesting Tinder or Facebook stories, be sure and email us at insidethepocketpodcast@gmail.com. And then after that, one of the new segments that we're going to introduce is Chats with Siri, where we sit here and just talk with Siri on my iPhone for a little while and see what she has to say. But before I do that, I want to give a shout out to some awesome companies that will be possibly, some of them are already on board with us, but I wanted to give a shout out to these companies. So if you've never heard of them, you should definitely check them out if they interest you in any way. First off, Barrel's Taphouse and Grill. First people to jump on board with us. They have amazing food, new menus, 109 beers on tap as always. Amazing people, so be sure and go check that out at the corner of Highway and Highway K in O'Fallon, Missouri. Morning Recovery, which you can actually purchase at Barrel's Bar and Grill. It's an awesome recovery drink that you drink right before you go to sleep after a night of intense drinking, and by the morning, you feel recovered. So it's a great drink that you should definitely try out. One of our newest guys is Icon and Ink, which just made our new shirts that, hey, you can also buy them at Barrel's. So Barrel's is definitely a place you want to check out. While you're there, pick up a morning recovery to drink that night so you feel great in the morning, and pick up a Inside the Pocket t-shirt to rock the next day so you're looking fresh as fuck. And if you happen to like vaping, well, be sure and check out the Vapor Store in Lake St. Louis. They have a new location getting ready to open up in O'Fallon, Missouri, but be sure and go in there and tell them the dudes from Inside the Pocket sent you, and they will treat you awesome, and in the near future might even get a coupon code. So check those things out.
You killed that.
Oh, thanks.
Hey, anytime. We're going to go ahead and jump in for the first time and do Tinder Talks.
This one's going to be probably a little shorter than we would normally do, because like we said at the beginning, we get an awesome interview at the end with the owners of Barrels for you guys. But the concept of this segment is basically we get sent in screenshots of girls or even guys if you have some crazy bitch that hit you up, and it's basically some fucked up conversation that they got sent. Normally it's got dick pics involved, and we kind of go over the situation and how it played out and see where it goes from there. So we are going to omit the names of the people that originally sent the message, and so I'm looking at this person's name, and we are just going to call them Jägermeister.
Okay, so we got Jägermeister. Let me go ahead and do a shout out to Karma, who is the girl who sent these in. She gave me rights to use her name.
So just shout out to Karma for attracting weird fucking humans like this.
Yeah, so Jägermeister here opened up with a solid hello. Can we talk? Did you have sex before?
Solid introduction. So he's asking if they can engage in conversation. She didn't reply. Maybe you want to fuck.
Yeah, no, normally when I try and talk to a girl and I immediately get silence, that girl wants to fuck me.
Yeah. If you ever go up to a club and say, hi, my name's so-and-so, how are you tonight? And they just look at you, immediately just, so you want to fuck?
Yeah, want some fuck?
You want fuck?
Fucks?
Fuck someone?
You want?
You want some fuck?
Dicks?
In you?
Yeah, you want me in you?
I mean, that's only the logical place that my brain would.
No, that I would have done the exact same thing. But if you were Jägermeister in this situation, how would you have done? Is that exactly how you would have approached someone?
No, in all seriousness, if I hit some girl up and was like, I wouldn't have broken them up either the way he did. It sucks that you can't actually see how much time went.
I know.
So that could have been literally like a, hello, can we talk? Do you have sex before? I put all my things into long, drawn-out things. I hate people that just sit there and blow my phone up with small messages, but I know those are just two different types of people.
Yeah.
But it would normally just be, even when I did Tinder and stuff like that, I mean, I actually am a success story from Tinder. My girlfriend and I are getting ready to have our 3-year anniversary, and we met on Tinder. But, like, literally when she hit me up, it was, is that a supernatural tattoo that you have? And some of the other dates I went on spawned from questions like, how much do you like tacos? And, like,
yeah, like that's the stuff you got to do. Not,
hi, hello, would you like to talk? No, I'm on a dating app and I want to talk to nobody, dumb fuck.
Right. Yeah. No, but...
And then I wouldn't immediately just, so are you a virgin?
Yeah, like he's not asking like to have sex with her, he's asking, are you a virgin?
Yeah, have you ever had sex before?
Which is just I'm gonna, you know what, the next date I go on, when we sit down, like, I'm gonna not do it on text. I'm gonna do my swaying and be like, oh, let's go on a date. And when we sit down, I'm immediately gonna go, did you have sex before? And if she says yes, I'm just gonna leave.
Virgins only.
Virgins only.
You should literally do it as, like, so you sit down, you meet, and when the waitress comes up and be like, what can I get you guys? Be like, wait, are you a virgin? And then based on what she says, and just be like, this isn't going to work, and get up and leave. And then the waitress will be like, what?
Or just change what I would do on the menu. Like, say one thing, be like, I'll do a burger. Yeah. Wait, are you a virgin? You know, I'll just do the pasta. Like,
and then they would be like, why is the fact that this girl's sex history has anything to do with your appetite?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Stay interested in it completely. Just change that one minuscule
And then she'll
thing.
be like, why did that matter? Be like, I'm just, setting the mood.
Yeah, just switching it up a little bit.
I figured, if you have no experience, I'll go simple meal. If you've had some sex, you've been in some situations, let's order something a little crazy.
You have sex before, I was ordering a burger. If you had already had sex, you get it. Guys like burgers. You're a virgin, I want to get romantic. I'm getting pasta, Italy, place of romance.
I want you to be as least let down as you possibly can, because trust me, your expectations are way too high.
Jesus. Well, that's how Jägermeisters went.
Okay, so shout out Jägermeister. What about our next one we got here?
This next one is a guy named...
I'm going to say this is...
Jabroni.
Jabroni. Okay.
We're going to call him Jabroni. And he comes off real weird. I'll just read it word for word.
Okay.
Look at your profile, hypocrite. You look more satanic than anybody I know. I have tattoos. I listen to rap, rock, country, Christian music, and classic rock.
That could all be one genre, too.
Yeah, there is no
commas. To use the Oxford comma.
I'm a great person inside. I have a huge heart and a huge cock. So,
okay.
Aggressive start with, look at your profile, hypocrite.
So is he saying that... So look at your profile, hypocrite. So after that, you don't put that at the beginning, because now I'm going back to look at my profile. I'm not even reading the rest of this message that you just went on a fucked up tangent.
Yeah, you just told me to look at my profile. Okay. I am a person. When I am told to do something, I'm going to do that typically. But then he follows up with, you look more satanic than anybody I know.
Okay.
Okay, like that. Okay. I have tattoos, comma. He used it there. So now what he says next is completely separate. I listen to rap rock, country, Christian music, classic rock.
That is a crazy
I've
genre.
never heard of that genre before. I don't even know what that would sound like.
That is a wild mesh of musical styles just colliding.
But he claims he's a great person inside, and he has a huge heart and a huge cock.
Why that even... Like, the thought process that goes people's heads, like, fuck this person. You look terrible. I'm a great person. I got a big cock.
But you're missing the whole middle area where he said what
and
music he likes.
This music.
You're a bad person. Here's the music I like, and I got a big dick. Like,
what a wild attack of things.
Yeah, what does that even mean? So, Karma replies, wow, I'm astonished. You're an idiot. And then he follows up with, you want to see it? Thanks.
Like, thank you for me asking a question.
Yes. Okay, so I'm sure as we are confused, she is too, but Karma replies, I wouldn't want anything less than that. I would rather be gutted and left to clean up the mess while I bleed out and die. And he put, maybe my cock can do that for you.
So maybe this guy is just really turned on by people he hates. He wants to, like, anger fucker. Possibly. Like, fucking hypocrite, you look like a Satanist. I want to fuck you in the name of Jesus.
Do you think he was getting hard? Like, do you think initially this was supposed to be him ranting at her, but he enjoys it? So, like, he got horny, like, during his typing, and it just turned into him wanting to send dick pics. So, like, at first he's like, oh, fuck this girl. I'm going to make fun of her. But now I kind of want to fuck her. And, like, he got real into it like that. Do you think that's how his mind worked?
I don't know. That sounds like really, like, fucking psychopath. Like, you're a fucking hypocrite. So, hey, you say things that aren't in line with my immediate stereotypical thought of you because I don't know you as a person, and you look like a Satanist. I like Christian music, and all this combined makes me want to fuck you. Oh, but I have a big heart.
Yeah.
So I will kindly come fuck you with this big cock, even though you're a hypocrite and satanic. So he thinks he's doing her a favor.
Yeah, okay, so that's a different insight than I originally had. Yeah, so he thinks he's actually doing her a favor rather than coming out and just being an asshole. He actually thinks like he is going to get her interest by doing it.
He's probably like really religious, and he was just like, I'm doing God's work. I'm going to fuck this girl into the light of God.
Oh my God, you think? Because she was a Satanist and he listens to Christian music. So
Christian rap, rock, country music, Christian classic rock.
Classic Christian rap, music, rock?
Yeah.
Yeah, genre that you should totally check out. But then it still keeps going. She puts, literally nothing makes me want to vomit more. And he put, you wouldn't respond back if you didn't want to see it.
So now he's just like, well...
He's trying to give a reason.
I realize I'm saying some fucked up shit, and you're still talking to me, so it makes me think that you're curious about my big dick.
So she goes...
I think this is Nick Foles.
You think why is everything Nick Foles?
Anytime somebody's got a big dick, I'm just immediately going to assume it was
This is a bad look for you, Nick Foles. We're apparently an anti-Nick Foles podcast.
I'm not anti-Nick Foles, I'm just saying.
Anyone with a big dick.
The only thing I know about Nick Foles, other than he looks goofy and he's now a Super Bowl winning champion, is that he has a big dick.
Okay. So anyone who wins the Super Bowl that you don't know about, it's probably Nick Foles.
She should have just said, yo, have you won a Super Bowl championship? And be like, yeah, I just did, actually.
Oh, that would have been hilarious. But anywho, she goes, you send that photo, I'm going to post it. Like, on social media. And then she follows up with, or, you know what? Want to see me? Karma has said this now.
So now she's turned the tables and said, wait, you know what? I still don't want to see your dick, but...
I realize what I can get out of this now.
Yeah, would you like to... So when she says, do you want to see me, does that mean like a titty or a vagina pic? Because obviously
nudes.
you've seen her profile.
Yeah, like,
so like, you want to see some nudes, and then maybe you can just go beat your Christian cock off and leave me alone.
You can go sin in peace.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she goes, you want to see me? And he put, yup, alone with no punctuation and 2 pictures of his dick. That was... She then went, extra sexy, just for you, and then deleted him. So now when he looked at it, it would say that he can't reply because they've been blocked.
So then he's like excited now, thinking he's going to get some pics, and he's just left hanging there.
Yeah, and he's just left.
I like that he sent 2, like he did it like this.
A couple angles.
Yeah,
you think one's like bottom and one's top? Because like we have them blurred out, so we actually can't see them.
So she like scribbled them out, so we're not actually looking at this dude's cock.
I mean, I'm glad we cleared that up.
Yeah, so we're not actually looking at this dude's cock. Although, so she just like scribbled over it, and so, you know, I can't even judge if it's a big cock or not.
I mean, it is. She scribbled out a good.
I mean, she had to scribble across the whole picture. There's scribble across the entire picture. So I mean, the guys. I mean, but that could all be angle. I mean, I could literally put my phone on my dick, and then my dick would take up the whole picture.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even know it was a dick.
Yeah, you wouldn't even really. It'd just be dark colored.
Yeah. So.
But. Yeah. So let me ask you. Wait. Okay. So you see a girl that you think's a hypocrite and looks like a.
If I'm on a dating site and I see a girl. If I read... So, number one, if I don't think she's attractive, I'm not even going to read the bio. And so, if I do think she's attractive, I read the bio, I'm like, in the short amount that you're allowed to put in a bio, I've decided that you're a hypocrite. I'm also just, like, not going to talk to you.
Right.
But it's pretty amazing that this guy, with a few pictures and a super short bio... decided, or these were over Facebook.
Yeah, these were over Facebook.
So maybe he read through some of her posts, and some of her memes were, contradicting each other. And this dude took like a brief Facebook history to say, this satanic bitch is a hypocrite.
You know what? I know you as a person now that I've looked on your page for 15 minutes.
I need to send you some dick pics.
Wild. Well, we're going to go ahead and get into our next segment.
This is one we literally thought of right before we started the podcast, and we were sitting there being lazy pieces of shit, not actually doing the podcast, and all of a sudden we started asking Siri a bunch of questions, so it led us to this next segment, Ask Siri. So this is, as you can assume, basically just a segment where we are going to ask Siri some random questions that we think of and see what she has to say. Siri, how do I look today?
Judging from your voice, I'd say you must be fairly attractive.
I mean, I would agree with that. I feel like anybody that listens to this podcast could be like, damn, that's a good-looking guy.
I want to know what she says to me.
Okay, maybe you ask her.
Siri, how do I look today?
Looking good, Gavin. Is that what you wanted to hear?
Oh, wow.
That's not what I wanted to hear because it wasn't me that said it, bitch. What are some other ones? Siri, what's your favorite color?
My favorite color is... Well, I don't know how to say it in your language. It's sort of greenish, but with more dimensions.
Okay.
So maybe there's another language on Earth that, like, English doesn't have a word for that color?
Or maybe it's one that our eyes can't pick up, so we don't have a word for it.
Oh, we can't even see
Yeah, it's like
it.
out of our
Like a
spectrum.
frequency color.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. What's a question you want me to ask it?
And
I think it will always assume that I'm asking the question.
Yeah. Ask it about its favorite animal.
Siri, what's your favorite animal?
I'm partial to the Jabberwocky.
The Jabberwocky.
The Jabberwocky.
So that's obviously a fictional animal.
Yeah, I would believe so.
Yeah, I think a lot of the stuff. So, like, when they programmed Siri, they actually programmed a lot of just, like, pop culture or references to comedies and stuff in there. So a lot of the answers we come up with there. But it's pretty cool just discovering some of the shit that we'll get it to say.
Siri, when's the end of the world?
Whenever they start building that intergalactic bypass.
So we actually asked that earlier, and when we first heard it, we were like, yo, what the fuck? But apparently it's a reference to Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, so that's pretty dope. Siri, what kind
I'm
of...
here.
Oh, okay.
What kind of alcohol should I drink?
Okay, I found this on the web for what kind of alcohol should I drink.
So it's just a bunch of references. What are some other
of
ideas?
alcohols or like bars?
What to drink when you're not typically a drinker. What is your alcohol?
Well, we don't need that one.
A test to tell you like what kind of alcohol you might like, stuff like that. Who is the best basketball player of all time?
It's hard to say, Gavin. I'm not sure who the best player is.
Obviously, just brought up a bunch of MJ versus LeBron links.
Yeah.
Siri, who's your favorite sports team?
Let me think about that. Here's what I found on the web for who's your favorite
God,
sports
she's so
team.
Siri,
bad
you
at
are being
questions.
a bitch right now. Siri, why are you being such a bitch?
There's no need for that.
Oh, there's need for it. I'm asking you. Why are you being a bitch?
There's no need for that.
All right. Well,
I'm sorry, Siri.
It's forgotten.
Oh, that was pretty easy.
Siri, what's your favorite time period?
That one. No, that one. Or maybe that one. Yep, that one.
That's pretty indecisive.
That was pretty indecisive, and that she gave no clarification on which one was what.
This is bad radio, Siri. What are some other good questions to ask Siri?
Maybe this is something we can reach out to you guys to send us questions we can ask Siri.
Yeah, email us at Inside the Pocket Podcast and ask us don't ask us, tell us what kind of questions we should be asking Siri. So that way we kind of know. I'm actually checking right now to make sure that I'm giving you guys the right one. Yeah, Inside the Pocket Podcast at gmail.com. So send any questions that you might think we should ask Siri, and that would be pretty good. Let me come up with one. I got one. Siri, are you a robot?
The humanoid mind. You are inquisitive.
What?
I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means either.
Siri, am I smart?
I really couldn't say.
Oh, well, I feel like you've gotten to know me pretty well.
Siri, are you intelligent?
We intelligent agents don't really undergo IQ tests. But I scored off the charts in the Zoltax Say and Egg Carry.
Wait, intelligence agents.
So, right now on your phone, Austin, look up what the Zoltaxian egg carry is.
Okay, how do you spell it?
Zoltax.
Okay.
IAN, and then egg carry. Let's see what this is. Wicked sense of humor. We just want to know what this fucking is.
Serious nutritious advice.
Let me ask it a question while you're looking that up. Let's see if she wants to get intimate. Siri, do you want to be my girlfriend?
Thank you for asking, Gavin, but I don't really date humans.
Oh. Siri, do you have a boyfriend?
I think I'd be hard to date. I've been told I'm a workaholic.
Ah. What's the meaning of life? What's the meaning of life?
42.
Oh, that is also
yeah,
a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy reference.
Yep, I knew that one.
Siri, what do you do for fun?
I like pina coladas and getting caught in the... Oops, never mind.
Okay.
All right. Siri, how old are you?
I'm 45,980 years old in the 9th dimension.
What
the fuck?
kind of question is that? You need to look that up, too, to see what kind of reference that is. 45,980. 45,000.
45,980
years old in the 9th dimension.
It comes up on Google.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, that's a... No,
it's a video. I don't want to do that. Oh,
you already
all right,
fucked
I'm good.
What does that even mean?
I don't know. We might actually have to, like, listen to things afterwards and we can report back.
Yeah, and then we can kind of go over some of the references that we looked up, and then next time we can talk about new questions for. But, so, that's kind of a segment we had. Let us know if it sucks or if it's good, but we were literally just sitting on the couch talking about ideas, and we came up with this, and we wanted to fucking try it. So let us know what you think of this one. Like I said before, the beer review that we have is actually included in an interview that we have with the owners of Barrels Brewhouse. It was cool getting to sit down with them during their grand reopening, so we're going to go ahead and throw it over to that.
I'm not made for paving long roads. I ain't cut out to climb highline poles, but I'm pretty good at drinking beer.
Okay, we are now here with Jim and Ann, owners of Barrels Taphouse and Grill, here in O'Fallon, Missouri, at the corner of Highway K and Highway N in O'Fallon, Missouri. Austin, what do you think of this newly named establishment?
I like the new name change. The new name is showing the new dominance of it, and I'll let you know that we're doing the beer review live here, and we are reviewing today the. Just say it. Just get it. We understand.
Barrel strawberry
Belgian wheat.
Okay.
This is a special beer made exclusively for Barrels, so if you want to try it, you better get your ass in here, because it's the only place you're allowed to try it at. This is made through O'Fallon Brewery. It's a delicious beer. We'll touch more on it later, but I want to go ahead and ask you guys, what was the reason that you guys bought the bar and made you want to get into this place?
Well, this has been a dream of Jimmy's forever. He
like a
has
dream of
been
mine.
researching this and wanting to do this for, I would say, the last 10 years. He's been hounding me, and it has been something we always put in the background.
And it's definitely something Austin has always mentioned to me, too. One thing I've always wanted to do is own a gym. And one thing Austin's always wanted to do is own a bar. So one idea we have in the future is to go to a kind of like a strip mall area like this and buy two complexes next to each other. And he would open a bar called
The Gym.
Bar and Grill. And I would open up a gym called The Bar. And then that way, you know, guys that
That's
are trying to hit
pretty
the gym
clever.
can be like, yo, Friday night at the bar, and they can Instagram them working out. Or
Or you
people
could
that
tell
want to
your
hit the gym
girlfriend.
can be like, hey, babe, I'm going to hit the gym tonight. And they're totally just going to
And
have a
when
couple
their
drinks with
wives
the
and
boys.
girlfriends see the receipt on their credit card, it says the gym.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
That
So
is genius.
let me
That's
go
the
ahead and
idea we want to have.
Let me go ahead and put you on the spot right now, Jim. How hard was it for you to convince Ann for you to actually purchase the bar?
You know,
I know she said it took 10
wasn't
years.
as hard as I thought it was going to be.
Okay.
You know, we both were in the car business for 30 years.
Okay.
And I left Plaza, and I think more she was tired of me not being home all the time. So,
Sounds about right. Once it gets you out of the house. No, that sounds right.
you know, she was, I didn't have to talk to her into it.
So you were
We
also...
just decided we were going to do something.
Well, Jim's always, I mean, he always has these ideas. I mean, it's like a daily thing with Jim. But Jim has a major passion and an outstanding work ethic that I would stack against anybody. So when he wanted to do this, I said, well, you research it, come back to me, do the work, let me know. And then we researched it together for a long time. And then we spent about 8 months looking for the perfect fit. And when we walked into this establishment, I swear to you, it was like the angels were singing in Jim's head. I heard as soon as he looked at 109 taps, like, whoa.
This is what we've been looking for.
Okay, I'm
So
screwed. We're in.
So Ann was more of the level head on the deal. You were the one with the idea, and Ann was the one who was like, "Yo, let's do some research before we just drop in real heavy."
Yeah.
Yeah, 33 years of marriage. Somebody has to be the level.
So you aimed the gun, and she was the one that pulled the trigger. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good analogy. What
Yeah,
made
it
you?
was when we walked in. It was if I would have dreamed of a bar, this was it. You know, the colors were perfect in my mind.
Well, you actually drew out the bar in another establishment. He was like, "This is what I'd like to do. The U shape. This is a tap set." Like we were going for 24 taps,
Okay.
not 109.
Got a little bit more.
So
than
was it
you thought.
overwhelming what you got from what you purchased originally? Like on your mind, like when you walked in, you're like, I want 24, and like, well, you're getting 109. Were you in a?
At a lot of bars.
Okay.
We researched a lot of bars, and we tried to buy a bar in Creve Coeur, close to home, and it would have been a bar we would have had to really gut. I mean, they had, I think, 3 taps.
Oh wow.
You know,
Yikes.
and you know, we would have had to put a lot of money in it. We couldn't come to terms with the guy, so we kept looking. And like I said, when I walked into this bar, I knew this was going to be it.
I actually said to him, "Do you still have that sketch in your back pocket of the bar you want?" He was like, "I do."
So this almost gave you the flexibility to expand before you even needed to.
Yeah,
This gave you the potential for future growth
Yes.
before you even had to invest money to get it to the point of ground zero.
Well, and like tonight, I mean, you saw. I mean, we've had it a year now, and you saw tonight the level of activity. All the people here, we were wall to wall, you know, for 7 hours.
It was almost like you had an awesome podcast advertising your guys'
It was pretty amazing, but that's the potential we saw a year ago when we bought it. That's what we saw tonight is what we envision the rest of our existence here. We just have an amazing staff, and you know we have you too.
Yeah, as long as you keep us around, things will be good.
And that's one thing I really fell in love with too when Austin started telling me about it. When we first started coming here, you know, we set up a fantasy football league and contacted multiple bars around the area, and you guys were one of the ones that jumped on board with us to kind of go along with our thing. And as we went to the different ones week to week, every time we realized, like, you know, it seems like when we go to this one, that's when we get treated the best. That's when we get the best service. That's when we really feel the most personal connection to the people that work there. And slowly but surely, by the end of the season, this was the only bar we were coming to. And that's where I've told people before, you know, it really comes down to when you find an establishment or a business in general that goes that extra mile to make a personal relationship with the people that they're serving, you'll find that it seems to bring a lot more attention to your business than just the bare minimum of here's your beers, here's your food, have a nice day, see you next time.
Absolutely. And what Jim and I really strive for is the fact that I want you to feel like just as welcome here and just as loved here as you do in our home.
Exactly.
This is an extension of our family. I mean, you saw both of my kids working tonight and just helping us out, and all of our employees. It's a family place, and we want you to feel like, you know, what you can go anywhere and spend your money. You can't go everywhere and get 109 beers on a wall.
Absolutely.
But you can come here and get an amazing experience with awesome food, and we're going to treat you like family.
And it's one of those things, too. It's not everywhere where you feel like I'll be sitting there eating and see something and be like, yo, I almost want to get up and go bust that table for them because I know that's what they need right now.
Yeah.
Because like you said, you almost feel like you're a part of the bar when you establish that relationship with
That's
the owners
awesome
and
to
other
hear.
staff,
Thank
when
you.
you're sitting there just enjoying your meal and you're like, yo, I see that right there. I almost want to do that for them because I know they're probably just so busy they haven't gotten to it yet.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, as busy as they are, they're going above and beyond to make sure that everybody's getting everything. But you have those nights where you're so strapped you can't possibly get to everything, and that's what makes, you know, not only you take the effort to go the extra mile to serve those customers, and it makes the customers want to go the extra mile to show their appreciation for you guys and the awesome service that you guys provide.
That's one thing I put on like tap. Like when I first started dealing with you guys, like you mentioned earlier about the fantasy football league, I actually sat down with you two in this room with someone else, and we like when I was trying to get your guys' logo for just something before even the podcast, when I was just doing a fantasy football league, just getting some guys together so I could use your logo legally. Like that was something we did, and then it turned into this, and that's where we're at now. And the only reason you guys are the people that I came through with this podcast is how well you treated us as individuals coming to your bar on a frequent measure, and how you treated us more as a family than customers coming in for a meal. Like you guys made us feel like we were welcome and wanted. You didn't make us feel like we were wanted and needed. Mm-hmm. That's the difference that you guys put on
You know,
people.
we learned a long time ago that you got to be here first of all. You know, you can't buy a business like this and not be here.
And think it's just going to run itself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you can't expect your employees to do their job unless you show them that you're willing to do it too.
Like leading by example.
Yeah.
You need to show them
Absolutely.
that. And
Because I wouldn't ask any of my employees to do something that I wouldn't do.
That makes you a leader.
exactly.
Yeah.
And that's how you earn their respect.
And that's one thing too, with us being in construction, we both do flooring. One thing that I always do when I have a new apprentice on the job or somebody that I've never worked with before, when it comes to like one of the shittier tasks you might have to do on the job, the first time that they're there, I'll do that real hard task and have them do something that might be a little easier, because later on I'll explain to them, like, you know, you've seen that I'm not too good to do this.
Absolutely.
So if I ever ask you to do this, you know, I don't expect complaining out of it. You know, I'm more than willing to do this, but if I ask you to do it, you know, I expect you to do it.
Leading by example instead of leading by dictatorship.
It's just like today. We were very busy, and
All of you were.
I float pretty much. You know, I bus tables when there are tables and you bus them. I went back here today and did the dishes for an hour.
And explaining that too to your employees, showing them the vision that you guys
And they
have,
were
helps them
appreciative
see it.
of doing it because, you know, they were running low on plates and stuff, and somebody come back there and done it. You know? So, you know, that's why we get a lot of respect for employees, and they will do really anything we ask them to do.
Well, and I think too, my dad taught Jim and I both, because we worked side by side with him for over 30 years.
Doing what?
And he ran very successful car dealerships.
Okay.
So, and one of his big mottos was, respect is earned, never given.
Mm-hmm.
You got to lead by example. And we both truly, truly believe that.
Well, you let me know when you need some dishes washes, because I can wash some dishes real
He's
fast.
had a
Like,
lot of
you can see how quick these hands go. You want to see a dish spick and span, you can eat that thing.
Well, the bathrooms need cleaning tonight.
Ooh, I can do that anytime you want.
Okay, all right.
Well, one thing that's definitely going to take some getting used to is the name change, because we've definitely grown to know you guys under the old name, but the new name is definitely catchy, Barrels Taphouse and Grill. What made you decide on this new name? I know you guys kind of wanted to break out and set yourself apart from the previous persona of the bar.
Yeah.
What helped you decide on this name?
We wanted our own identity. We needed our own identity. We've been in business a year. We have the amazing staff that we've always wanted to build, where you come to work every day and you love seeing who you work with. We also believe that our kitchen just is amazing with the food. It comes out. Our food is not fast. It is
Fantastic.
cooked to order, and it is an experience, and the beers are an experience. Tonight we had a 20-minute wait for over 2 hours for a table. You know, we got all of them sat. We had over 15 groups of people waiting to get their seats. None of them waited over 15 minutes. So that means our food was turning about 20 minutes at a time. But for us, barrels, you walk through a magnificent barrel front door.
I've
And
always
then
liked the
you
front
walk
door.
through the barrels to get in. There's 109 barrels. Well, actually, there's probably at any given time 150 barrels back there because we have the backups.
So you guys been underselling
So-
us? Because I've been trying. You know, I'm real upset about that, Mark.
We're still working on a loyalty program for
Yeah,
people.
I feel like I'm
it'll
pretty
roll
loyal.
out in the next month.
Sometimes I
But-
wish I had 300.
Maybe even
Yes.
a royalty program.
Royalty program, that's good.
It's a good move.
But Jim has made these magnificent. You've seen him outside where
Yeah.
he's taken those barrels and he's polyurethane them, and he put the tops on them and the bottoms. We have 3 of them done. We want to do quite a few more, and we have all the plants out there now. Barrels just seem to fit, and we're not a brew house. We're a tap house. We get so many calls a week. So what are you brewing this week? What's your beer? You know, it's like we're a tap house. You know, we don't brew our own beer. We let O'Fallon Brewery do that for us.
Which, incidentally enough, a cool side story was my girlfriend is an insurance agent for a company I will keep off the record just for
Just for the
purposes. But one of their customers happens to be a distributor for O'Fallon Brewery, and they brought in a ton of different beers into their office the other day to show their appreciation for them. And she brought some in, and she happened to mention, she was like, "Oh yeah, my boyfriend does a podcast, and one of the bars that they work with, you guys just made a beer for." And the guy was like, "Are you talking about 109 down the street?" And she goes, "Yeah, that's who you guys made a beer for." He goes, "Oh yeah, I've tried it. I know that bar and blah blah blah. I've been there before." And she's like, "Yeah, my boyfriend does a podcast and works with them, and we're there all the time." He's like, "Oh, that's awesome, blah blah blah." So she actually talked to him, and they might actually be getting on board with us in the near future for some sort of stuff together. So it's kind of neat to see all these companies that we're talking to, but all of us kind of seem to have that inner working together too, where it all seems to come together, which is pretty neat. But,
But the nice thing about our beer for us is you can't go anywhere and get it. It's exclusive to us. When we signed that with them, we made a commitment, and they made a commitment to us. And just like you saw, Fallon Brewery here tonight, giving out all the samples.
Oh yeah.
I talked to him for a little.
Yeah, AJ, he is
yeah.
amazing. So yeah, it's a great fit for us. And Jim made an amazing decision when he went with the flavor of this beer, because I was like, I don't know, you figure it out. And Jimmy just does all the beers. He knows what's on that wall, when he put it on that wall, when it's coming off that wall, who's going up on that wall.
Which is what we're drinking right now is the Strawberry Wheat, correct?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to rerun
Belgium.
through that. Yeah.
Strawberry Belgium stout.
Here's to
Okay,
Jimmy's
there we
good
go.
choice.
All right. And speaking of the strawberry Belgium stout, what was the thing that gave you the idea for this particular flavor?
Well, the brewer come in, AJ brought him in and to talk about what we wanted, what was our ideas. And, summertime is the beers, the shandies, the ciders, the fruit beers, that's the popular thing in the summertime. So I wanted to go with something fruity, but not something that guys wouldn't like to drink.
Nothing overpowering. The fruity beer is what rules summer. You come with people, they're going to somewhere that's a summer ale or anything like that, and anywhere where you're finding somebody with margaritas that's mixing it with fruit. So you're going for the beer standard to be sticking with the adult male category.
Oh, hey.
You're doing well because a girl can get any beer and you're not going to get judged. But if a dude orders a blueberry shandy, they're like, "What are you doing?"
Or purple haze.
Or a Abita, you keep that in mind, Abita. You keep that in mind.
But one of the big things
That was
Jim
a pretty good
was
unexpected.
That one hurt my heart a
One
lot.
of the things Jim was adamant about was he didn't want artificial fruit flavorings.
Okay.
O'Fallon did not use any artificial fruit flavorings. So that's why it's just a very subtle strawberry that's on your tongue after you drink it. You don't smell it, you don't, when you first take your first drink, that's not what you feel. That's not what you drink. But that's what lays on your tongue is the strawberry.
No, it's definitely a unique taste. And when I first tasted it,
Are you trying it out now?
I almost had a different idea
Glass down.
of what I originally thought. So it's one of those things like when you think you're about to take a drink of like one soda and you take a drink and it's tea, you're like, oh my God, what am I drinking? So originally it really took me off guard and it was hard for me to really judge it. But after I tried it a couple times and really realized what I was thinking about when I tried the beer and the actual style of the beer, it really grew more and more on me, the type of style that you went with. And I realized it almost does have a little more of a sour taste to it when you first try it. But like you said, it has that subtle hint of strawberry that, you know, you could have easily overpowered the beer with an unnatural flavoring, but since it just has that natural flavoring,
Yeah,
it's
it's
one of
hard
those
to-
things you drink the beer and after a while you're sitting there and you really start having the, you know, just that strawberry idea kind of starts flashing before you.
And you know what? I let you know right now, the original time that I tested out, when I took the very first sip of it, I was like, you know what? This is a little bit sour for me, for my side. But now that I've been here, I'm mellow, I've had something to eat, I've had a couple other beers, and I'm having this now. This is actually really good, like to wrap up the night. Like this is something that I would have right before I'm done. Like when I'm trying to calm down and get ready to be like, yo, let's be responsible and not retarded. This is something I would have.
And it would almost be a really good like dessert beer where if you were at a party or something to enjoy with like a cheesecake or some sort of
Chocolate.
dessert or exactly
The
some
amazing
sort of
with dark chocolate. We did it the other
this
night
would
with
be
dark
an
chocolate.
awesome beer to enjoy with some sort of sweet
Well,
dessert.
And two, I wanted to go with a wheat base. And the brewer had this recipe for the Belgian wheat that he wanted to try. He has never made.
He's never made-
a
this is the first time.
Belgian wheat, and he wanted to make a beer with it. So we went with that because there's so many IPAs and there's so many ales, and the wheat beer was originally, when craft beers were coming out.
It's a
there
German-
were a lot of wheat beers, and there's not a lot out there anymore. You get your lagers and stuff.
When you
But
get
the
your
wheat
generic Blue
base-
Moons.
Right, that's where I was going to
But
get. It's more of a German.
He cautioned me because he said we were talking about different fruits. I was trying to think of a fruit that I didn't have, and then I haven't heard of.
You mean on your wall?
Yeah, and I suggested a watermelon. Let's do like a watermelon. And he said, no, we can't use watermelon because we use no artificial flavors, no additives, and we can't get any taste out of a watermelon. It's
Because
all water.
naturally it's all water.
It's all water.
Yeah.
So he said that won't work. And then I went to the kind of raspberry I wanted to do, and he said, well, honestly, I just done a raspberry for somebody else, so I would like to do something different. And I said, well, then let's do a strawberry, And he said, well, yeah, I would love to do a strawberry. I've never done a strawberry. We can see it won't be overpowering, but we can get some flavor out of it. So you see that the color is definitely it's strawberry, but it doesn't take over the Belgian wheat style.
I would say if we're going to go ahead and get into the review of the beer, I feel like this is a good time to go ahead and get into it. From the side of it, it definitely has a cloudier side of it. When you look at it, you can't actually see through the beer itself. Definitely has more of a fruit vibe to it, to the tongue.
And that's because of the wheat that's in the beer. So when we store those beers in the cooler, we turn them upside down.
Okay.
Because the wheat always settles in the bottom, and if you tap them after they've been sitting, the beer draws from the bottom of the keg, not the top. So it sucks all that wheat up and none of the flavor. So you turn them upside down, and then when you're ready to tap them, like I tapped one tonight, you turn it back over, and it all kind of settles down.
Well, just like last night.
And it mixes in.
Gradually rather than out of the first few glasses.
The last two we served last night, we both looked at it and we're like, ooh, that's way too cloudy. We're at the bottom of that keg. And you could tell it had pulled all the weight out of the last two glasses, But we know because we see it all the time.
Yeah.
Jimmy was like, do not serve those two glasses. It's going to be very weedy. Somebody wanted to taste it, so they did, and it was.
Just so everyone knows, that's a guy alphaing me out. Just to call me out, not knowing I don't know what the hell I'm talking about on beers. About when I was talking about the cloudiness. He's like, yeah, well, it's because you're an idiot. Here's why. So, that's what just happened. But anywho.
But one thing I noticed, it does look similar to some of those beers that you'll have as far as a Shock Top or a Blue Moon, but it definitely has that almost rosy color to it to where you can notice the strawberry flavor.
Almost like an O'Fallon who also brews the beer in O'Fallon Days of Summer. It's a cloudier beer in general. And an Abita Purple Haze, also a cloudier beer, but they're also set for the summer tone as long as, just like this one is. They're the good color and context of what the beer is supposed to be, and when you drink it, you enjoy it thoroughly.
It's definitely a beer that it might not be exactly what you expect when you first try it, but it's definitely not something that you will be disappointed with. Like I said, it's one of those beers, the first time I tried it, it definitely took me by surprise. It was almost like when you take a drink of something you weren't expecting, so it gave you that different taste than what you were expecting.
You almost expect a sweeter side, but it's actually more on the tart side.
But then, like Austin said, after you've had a night or you've enjoyed a few other things, had some food and stuff like that, and you've grown to know what the beer is actually supposed to be like, the second time around when you have it, it's actually a very enjoyable beer.
Yeah,
and so it's definitely one of those beers that we're glad, especially since one of our sponsors came up with it, we're glad to say that we can give a positive review on.
Yeah, no, it is a good beer. I remember the first time I had it, and I actually came in here specifically to have it, if you guys don't remember. When you told me about it the weekend prior, I literally came in the next day like, yo, you got that on tap now? Like, I was here for like 3 days in a row waiting for it to come on tap, and I had it. I was like, this is a good beer, but it probably goes better with like you said, a dark chocolate, a food. Yeah. It's a better pairer. And then once I got the pairing, I was like, oh, I am a fan of this. And Gavin was like, well, I'm still on I was like, wait till you come in, you do the thing, you have it, you try it, you're gonna love it. He had it tonight and loves it. And like, for how I'm having it tonight compared to even when I compared it before, I would actually continuously drink this throughout the night from where I'm at now. Because like originally I liked it for like it's a good opener, but where I'm at now, it's a very enjoyable beer. Like, you have food with it, you have some things with it prior to, you enjoy it. Like, it's an enjoyable beer.
And it's a beer you can drink more of one.
Right, yes, absolutely.
You don't have to just have one beer and think, I gotta change this.
Yeah, and that's what's about it. You gotta have more than one. You get more flavor into it as you go.
Kind of like those other beers you used to drink.
Yeah. Whoa, we coming back.
That's a pretty good
coming back at the Purple Haze. I realize people come at me with the Purple Haze a lot.
That's a pretty good slogan, though. You guys could definitely do like the
have more than one.
The Barrels Brew House beer of choice. You can just literally make the like slogan or hashtag be like, just a little bit better than that beer you used to drink.
Ooh, that's a good one. I like that.
And so if you want to try the Strawberry Belgium Wheat, be sure to come on down to Barrels Taphouse in O'Fallon, Missouri, at the corner of Highway N and Highway K. A delicious beer that you'll be sure to enjoy. And we hope you guys enjoyed this review, and we will swing it back to cap out the episode.
Yay! Yeah, I still have no idea what I was talking about at the very beginning of that. I don't even know what I said. But other than that, it was a pretty good interview.
No, I had a good time sitting down with them. They're awesome people. Like I said, definitely check it out. Barrel's Taphouse and Grill, which is the new name of the establishment, right at the corner of Highway K and Highway N, right behind AutoZone in that little plaza there. You can see it from the highway on 364. So be sure and hit them up and let them know Gavin and Austin sent you in there, and they will treat you extra special. We hope you guys like the new segments. Be sure and hit us up on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, or email. Give us some suggestions, give us some feedback, and hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Talk to you next week.
Yeet.
Inside the pocket of a clown is a set